So, we recently received an official work-in-progress mod for Inscryption, titled Kaycee's mod. It allows us to play through Leshy's board game with all sorts of different modifiers, and winning these runs rewards you with devlogs, entries Kaycee wrote during her time with Gamefuna. So I'm gonna read through them all, and then I'll explain what exactly they detail, although feel free to skip ahead to the timestamp if you're not interested in knowing exactly what they say, and just want the explanation. Thank you so much to Sifd for letting me use his footage for all 12 logs. If you want some great Inscryption gameplay, check his channel out. This saved me so much time, because while I love the lore, when it comes to the gameplay, I seem to be, very bad. Like, appallingly so. Anyway, let's get started. Log entry 1. Okay, I need to write this down now so I don't go to sleep and tell myself I dreamt it. I'm working late and testing the latest build, and out of nowhere, the angler starts freaking out. Like he pulled something up out of the river with his hook, and then he gets up and walks. There is no walk animation for this character. What the fuck? He walked right into the cabin. I followed him in and couldn't find him. Leshy had some new dialogue lines that I cannot find in the dialogue file. He said something about some old data, and how the angler served him well or something. I'm so tired, and I'm wondering if I made this up. Entry 2. So I woke up and damn near lost my mind. I tried to recreate the bug with the angler over and over again, and nothing was happening. Then I realized I was testing on a different disk. So I popped in the same disk as last night, and holy shit, Leshy went 3D. What does this mean? I barely even know. Maybe I am crazy. The entire game is different. Leshy took over and it's 3D. I don't know anyone who would listen to me about this. Entry 3. I've been playing this new Inscryption now for a few days. Work has been unproductive. I emailed some of the other devs, kinda probing to see if they know anything about this without appearing crazy. No dice. The strange thing, this game is fun. Like, it's an actually good game. But stranger still, Leshy. He talks to the challenger almost as if he's talking to me. It's freaky, but not altogether unwelcome. I could use a friend. Entry 4. I scoured the disk last night looking for some kind of explanation, and I found some really wild stuff. It made me think, what is the old data, and why does Leshy only talk about it when he's wearing the woodcarver's mask? I found some log from Mr. Kaminsky, and it was pretty clear when I met him that the guy had some issues. But he seemed to be saying in this log that the entire development of Inscryption was a cover. For what? How infuriating if true. Time to start another run, I guess. Then we have entries 5 to 12, the final one, which have all been corrupted, reading, Data in beta state. For any quality concerns, please contact Kaminsky Data Storage MFG. So, who is this Kaminsky fellow? Why does only one of the disks act so oddly? And when, relative to the events of the main game, did this all happen? Well, let's start with Kaycee's job at Gamefuna. She was, or at least thought she was, a regular everyday employee, working on the game Inscryption. What she didn't know is that Inscryption is a front, merely hiding the old data, but we'll get back to that in a second. What's important is that only one copy of Inscryption is hiding the old data. Only one copy has its characters come alive. Log 1 describes Kaycee as she, just by chance, is playtesting the floppy disk with the old data hidden in it, deep below the game's world. She sees the angler, under Leshy's orders, fish up a piece of the old data, which allows Leshy to take over the game's world, as we see PO3 do during the main game, and is why, when we first begin playing, Leshy is in control. The second entry just confirms this, talking about how he's become 3D, and that none of the other discs were acting like this. Entry 3 is also pretty self-explanatory. with Kaycee playing and enjoying Leshy's game. Although one thing to note is that none of her co-workers seem to have any idea of what she's talking about. This could mean two things. Either they all know about the old data and are simply staying quiet about it, or they are unaware, so she just seems kinda crazy to them. I believe the latter is true, as if everyone except Kaycee knew about it, they would never have let her accidentally get her hands on it, and if she did, they would intervene much more quickly. That being said, it is guaranteed that the higher-ups at GameFuna know that the old data is in one of the discs, although they hadn't realized Kaycee had found it. Yet. We also read that Kaycee has no friends. This is extremely important, and a wonderful use of the literary arts by Daniel Mullins, because it is very relatable. Now entry 4 is where things get interesting. The first paragraph is more Leshy talking about the old data, but in the second, she describes finding a log on the disk, from a certain Mr. Kaminsky. I'm not going all the way into this, because to fully understand Kaminsky and his place in this story, we would need to be here for a very long time. But I will still be going over it all, just in another, much longer video, tying all of Daniel Mullins' games together. But here's a short synopsis. The old data was in Russia, and to keep it from the hands of the Soviets, Reggie Wilkinson, aka Big Ear, a man we get to know from Daniel Mullins' The Hex, worked with Kaminsky, who owned a floppy disk company, to send the old data to America, hidden inside a floppy disk, inside a box full of identical looking disks. The higher-ups at GameFuna received the disks, and against the will of Reggie and Kaminsky, have seemed to continue developing Inscryption, which was merely meant to be a cover to get the old data to America. Entries 5 through 12 all seem to be corrupted. Kaminsky's floppy disks don't seem to be infallible, although their faultiness could be attributed to the old data. And that's all of them. Now a quick few things before I end the video. Firstly, I won't be surprised if all the files in this beta state are going to be filled in as the mod continues to be worked on. And if that's the case, I'll be sure to make another video covering the new information. So stick around if you want to see when that comes out. Secondly, there's a lot more to all of this, but I'm trying my best to keep this video short, and I'm currently working on a full breakdown of all of Daniel Mullins' game stories, and delving into how their plots and ARG connect. My timeline for videos looks like this. I make a video on both the Hex and Pony Islands plot, so people will have a general understanding of all of Daniel Mullins' games, and finally, the video I just mentioned, covering all the games and the overarching plot that encases them all. There might be a few breaks here and there where I make short videos like this one, but that'll be the main focus. And lastly, the darkness. Oh my god, the darkness is coming. Oh my god, the darkness, the darkness.